Okay, so now we have learned all about the text properties, and now we are going to learn how we can animate our text. Now we know all the concept about our keyframe, how to adjust them, how to adjust the graph editors, and now with the help of that keyframe knowledge, and now with the help of this some animate properties given by text layers, we are going to animate our text. So let's try to do that. But before that, we need to type proper text for animation. So let's select this text layer, and I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to select my text layer, and this time I'm going to try to create some stylized text. So I'll adjust font according to my needs, and also color also I'll adjust according to our needs and basic look. Okay, so let's try to do that. I'm going to type motion graphics over here like this. Okay, and for the font I'm going to choose different font like Oswald font over here. You can choose different font as well, and I'm going to choose medium version of that font. I'll also adjust the distance between these alphabets, and I'm going to hit enter like that. I'll select this text layer, Control Alt Home. I'll go to the align tab, align it horizontally, align it vertically as for scaling option, and I'll scale the size. And for this first layer, first text, I'm going to choose this somewhere like a bluish color for this text, and for the second layer I'm going to pick up the red color or somewhere around, like, let's say like this color over here. I think this looks good to me. Okay, and now we will try to animate this layer. Okay, so for animate, obviously you need to go in text, and over here you will find this option called animate. Now if you click on it, they provide so many options over here like position, scaling, skew, rotation, opacity, etc, etc. Now we need to tell them that which kind of property we want to animate. So first we will start with the position over here. So if I click on it, we will get this animator option over here, and with the help of range selector. Now animator, which means we have animated we have added our animation portion, and in range selector we will animate, and in position over here, because we have added position, so it will show the reading of positions. So now basically we need to tell our After Effects that what should be the initial position of that text layer. So for example, if I bring this over here like let's say 80, so I'm telling After Effects that my initial position should be 80, and after a few times it should be at the original position. Then I can go to the range selector, and right now if you see, the value is start. If I create one keyframe over here, and if I go to around 2 seconds, and if I increase this value, as you guys can see, we are getting this value over here. So basically at the start, when value is 0, my text is at this position which I have said to use that, and at 2 seconds I have decided to make this proper 100. Okay, so this is the basic concept of animation. You can select those keyframe, then you can hit F9 to ease those keyframe, and if you hit spacebar we will get something like this. Okay, so this is the basic concept of animation in After Effects. Text animation in After Effects. Obviously we will talk about it in depth whenever we are going to do proper animation, but right now just for the concept, this is the understanding. Now this animation is starting from the start. If I delete those keyframe, and as you guys can see, the end value is 100. If I create one keyframe at end, and at 2 seconds if I make this 0, and if I hit play, as you guys can see, now the animation is starting from the end. Okay, so this is the basic concept of this. Then if you go in over here, you will get this option called advanced. Now in advanced option, if you see, we have units, percentage, etc. We don't need to much more use that. But if you see, based on right now it's characters, basically now they're animating each and every alphabet. But if you want, then you can choose character excluding spaces also, which doesn't make too much sense. But if you choose words over here, now they will animate according to the words. Again, if you choose lines, now this layer contains 2 lines, so it will animate this 2 lines accordingly. Okay, similarly over this option, they are different, like a random. If I enable this option, and let's choose our characters over here, now if you see, the animation is in random format, like because my random renderer is on. Okay, so these are the self-explanation portion. You can change this value, and you can check out what are the changes you will get in your animation. Okay, let's minimize it. Now, if you see in Animator 1 over here, you will get this option called Add Menu. So what this is saying that this animator contains this range selector, which is controlling this portion. But right now, suppose if I want to animate opacity as well. So instead of going to text animation, go to the animate and create opacity, which will create another animator. Then you have to adjust the range selector for it. You have, for example, you need to make this initial value opacity 0. You need to create one keyframe at the start, then go to 2 second and again create this value over here. So basically now if you see, we have two animators over here. One animator is controlling the position property with the help of their range selector. Second animator controlling the opacity property with their separate range selector. So instead of that, what I'll do, I'll simply delete this animator 2. I don't need that. In this animator 1 over here, you will get this add property. Basically they are allowing us, along with the position, you can animate another property within the same animator. So if I go to the add menu and if I select property, I can select the opacity as well. So now I have to along with the position, I can adjust the initial opacity as well. So if I make this value 0 and if I hit play, I'll get something like this. Similarly, if I add again property, I can choose scale as well and I can make this scale 0. And now if I hit play, as you guys can see, along with this, I'm getting scale animation. Again, add property, I can choose rotation. Let's rotate it on 90 degree. As you guys can see, we'll get something like that. Similarly, add property, I can choose this tracking value. I can increase the tracking amount. As you guys can see, we are getting the something like that. Okay, so this is the basic animation concept inside of After Effects.